welcome to this Astranti video for the Strategic Case Study. So today we're going to be looking together at an industry analysis of the online food delivery service for the pre-seen company for the May and August sitting, Snakwheel. But before we get too far into the analysis, let's take a look at why we're actually doing this. Well, essentially we're doing this because the examiner's report tells us that understanding the context of the industry that the business operates in will impact on your understanding of the decisions that you might have to make or advise upon in your case study exam. So if we break this down a little bit further, what this really means is that if you take time to understand the context of the industry Snakwheel operates in, it will help you to maximise your marks in the exam, taking you closer to that passing grade. So then, in the pre-seen, you're told that you are a senior manager in Snakwheel's finance function. You report directly to the board and you advise them on special projects and strategic matters. Now, the reason we're highlighting this to you is because in your case study exam, you're expected to answer the questions as if you really are a senior manager in Snakwheel's finance function. So, you're expected to provide logical business advice as if you were acting in this position. And realistically, a person in this position would know the industry inside out. So, that's why this guide and industry analysis pack is really important. It's going to give you a lot of context and relevant industry examples that you'll be able to ground your answers in and really speak from a position as if you know this industry like the back of your hand. But as I'm sure you're aware, it's a really big industry and it would be really hard to get all of that knowledge compiled together in one place all by yourself. And it's also really important that you have all the right information about the industry and that you don't miss anything out in your research. So that's where we come in. In the industry analysis pack that we've prepared for you here, we've scoured the web, read 100 journals and magazines and articles for the most relevant information for your exam. So essentially, we've done the difficult part for you. All you need to do now is take some time to thoroughly read this guide, learn the key points, and make sure you can use them and apply them in your exam. So what we'll do then is go through all of this together. And we're going to start in chapter 1 and look at the history of the online food delivery service industry. So let's start with understanding what we're actually talking about when we're discussing the online food delivery service industry. What it means is we're discussing businesses such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo. So what we're talking about is the apps that you could use on your smartphone or your tablets to order food to come to your door in just a few clicks. Now, I'm sure there'll only be very few of you who've never eaten from any of the major platforms like Uber Eats, Deliveroo, as we've mentioned, or Just Eat or DoorDash in the US, which means that the industry is being valued at the moment at a whopping $213 billion US dollars, with growth expected to reach $465 billion US dollars in 2026. And realistically, as the industry expands, this growth is only going to continue. As even now, Delivery Hero, which is one of the dominating platforms, operates in around 50 countries worldwide. And now, because of the smartphone and technological advancements that have led to the massive explosion of the online food delivery service, we actually tend to see it as a relatively modern industry. But in actual fact, it can be traced all the way back to the 1880s, when the King and Queen of Italy requested a pizza be delivered to them in their accommodation. And now, moving on a bit into the 20th century, we saw the invention and widespread distribution of television, which meant more people were staying at home instead of dining at a local restaurant. So to mitigate any risk to their businesses, a lot of restaurants began offering takeaways, which started the popularisation of this new idea. And then again, in the early 2000s, along with further technological rise, the rise of the internet became the catalyst for online food services exploding into the early 2000s. And the subsequent creation of internet banking actually further helped the industry grow because restaurants and takeaways could then accept payment online from customers. And now the early 2000s actually saw one of the big online food delivery service giants that we still see today, because 2001 saw Just Eat launch in Denmark. And then by the late 2000s, Just Eat was operating in 10 countries worldwide, just showing how the early 2000s really were a big start for the online food delivery service. But the early 2010s actually then saw a worldwide surge in smartphone and tablet usage, which meant that online delivery services could move towards operating via a mobile app. And now this is when the industry as we know it today really begins to take off. So the pioneer in this type of service, which launched in 2013, was Deliveroo. And 2013 also saw the current leader in online food delivery service launch too, which is DoorDash, which is based in the USA. Now, it's also really important that we mention here that the growth of online ride-hail apps, such as Uber and Lyft, meant that online food delivery services, such as Uber Eats and Bolt Food, also began to rapidly gain traction as their parent companies, Uber and Bolt, began to see the massive traction that the industry was gaining. And so then, by the mid-2010s, in 2016, online ordering actually overtakes over-the-phone ordering, and the industry has generated more than $10.4 billion in the USA alone. And by 2020, we've actually seen this figure rise to $26.5 billion. And we're actually expecting this growth to continue because the industry's growth is expected to increase at a compound annual growth rate of 10.3% until at least 2027. So now let's see what all of this has to do with the pre-scene and how it applies to Snakwheel. So Snakwheel was founded in 2007, which, as we know from our industry analysis, this will make it one of the first companies to enter the online food delivery market. This is also supported by the fact that it was West Area's first independent home delivery platform. So it's actually relatively unsurprising that Snakwheel was able to benefit from this growth in the industry and become a quoted company in 2016. However, whilst this is an indicator of Snakwheel's success, Snakwheel only services users in West Area, whilst as we know, other companies founded around that time, like Deliveroo, capitalised on the industry's growth and expanded far beyond their country of origin into other countries and continents. Deliveroo operates in 11 countries worldwide, and Uber Eats serves over 45. So really, Snakwheel should be considering following this trend and looking to expand abroad. So now, let's take a look at the actual services that are provided by the online food delivery service industry. And now, it's probably pretty obvious that the primary service offered by companies in this industry is the delivery of pre-ordered meals, drinks, or even snacks from restaurants, cafes, or shops that are local to the customers. What happens is the courier collects the food or items on behalf of the customer and then delivers it to them at their chosen location, which is often their home or their workplace. And now, obviously, this service does not come without cost. Most online food delivery service platforms charge a service fee and a delivery fee to their customers. And delivery fees for the service generally range between 99p and £2.99, whereas the service fees are generally around 5%. However, a new trend in the industry is actually the online food delivery providers offering a monthly subscription service where users just pay a subscription fee like you would to Netflix every month or Amazon Prime to then receive free delivery on any subsequent order that they place. As we've seen these services increase over the past couple of years, online grocery delivery has seen a massive spike. Online delivery platforms like DoorDash and Deliveroo are now allowing customers to order household items such as cooking ingredients or cleaning items from supermarkets. And by the end of 2021, deliveries such as these actually accounted for 8% of all orders placed on Deliveroo apps. Platforms who offer options such as these have an advantage over Snakwheel, who currently only provide pre-made items from their restaurant platforms. So now, if we start to take a look at the more technical side of online food delivery service, we're going to take a look at aggregators versus platform-to-consumer operators. And now, whilst this might sound confusing, it's essentially just the different business models that any company in this industry might follow. They're the two most popular models of online food delivery service, so they're the ones that we're going to take a look at now. So let's start with an aggregator. Aggregators are essentially like catalogues or marketplaces of all the takeaways and restaurants available to a customer within a certain area. The platform takes the order, which is the aggregate, and sends it then to the operator, which is the restaurant or takeaway, who then prepare the food and take care of the delivery. Now that's the important part. The restaurant itself takes care of the delivery. Using a real-world example, the most well-known aggregator is Just Eat. And now platform-to-consumer operators display all of the available outlets that a customer can choose from, but unlike aggregators, the consumer platform actually delivers the order to the customer themselves. It's not the responsibility of the restaurant. The most popular platform-to-consumer operators that you'll be aware of are probably Deliveroo and Uber Eats. Now, we spent a lot of time talking about some direct competitors of Snakwheel, so let's actually take a look at some of these major companies in more detail. And we'll start with Deliveroo. So Deliveroo is a multinational organisation, like we've already mentioned. It's in 11 countries that delivers fast food, restaurant meals and groceries. They have their own app and their own website where customers can place orders and pay for their items. And very similarly, we have Uber Eats. Now, Uber Eats was launched, no surprises, by Uber, the ride-hailing company, but it's a separate app. And then we have Just Eat, like we've just mentioned. It delivers food from takeaways and restaurants to customers who've ordered via the Just Eat app or their own website. And we also have DoorDash. So DoorDash is based in the US, but it actually operates in more countries than just there. It operates also in Australia, Canada, Japan and Germany, and is the largest food delivery company in the USA. Now, FoodHub is a UK-based food delivery service which marks itself at being more affordable than its competitors because it doesn't charge users a service fee. Now, moving on to Bolt Food. Bolt Food is facilitated, just like Uber Eats is, by a ride-hail company, Bolt. It's an Estonian company which operates in 45 countries across Europe, Africa, Asia, Central and South America. So their remit for serving customers is huge. And now Foodpanda. Foodpanda is the largest delivery platform in Asia, but importantly, it's the largest platform in Asia outside of China. And then number 8, we have Grubhub. So Grubhub is American and it's also owned by Just Eat. And customers order and pay for their items on Grubhub's own app. And now if we move on to Foodstuff. Foodstuff is a UK-based delivery food service, but it has a really big ethical focus. It's emission-free, couriers are paid a living wage, and only independent restaurants are hosted by the app. This means there are absolutely no chain restaurants that are serviced, so you wouldn't be able to order from the likes of McDonald's or Burger King on this app. And now it's only operating in 6 UK cities at the moment, but it is looking to expand. And then finally, we have GrabFood, which is based in Singapore and is owned by Grab, a cab hailing service, just like Bolt. So GrabFood currently operates across Southeast Asia. So market analysts have actually identified a number of points concerning the global online food delivery market. And it's really important that you remember these so that you can use them and apply them in your exam. So the first one is that the market is forecast to have a compound annual growth rate of 10.3%. Asia Pacific dominates the global market, but the fastest growing market is in European countries such as Germany, France and Italy, and in the USA. Adults aged 19 to 29 are the largest age demographic for online food delivery service. Since 2014, digital orders have been growing at 3 times the rate of on-site ordering. 80% of Americans have ordered food from online delivery platforms at some stage, and around 60% of Americans order from the platform at least once a week. By 2025, online food delivery is expected to grow at a 21% share of the total restaurant market. In 2021, restaurants that didn't offer online food delivery were expected to lose over 70% of their customers, which could be absolutely devastating for many restaurants. So again, let's apply this to Snakwheel. Any news that the global market is expected to continue to grow can only be good news for Snakwheel. And the growth in the domestic industry beginning to slow in West Area may be the perfect time for Snakwheel to look to expand to foreign markets. So with the growth in the domestic industry beginning to slow, it may actually be the perfect time for Snakwheel to expand into foreign markets and take advantage of this rapid growth, either in a European country or in America. However, becoming a multinational company doesn't come without risks. Snakwheel must ensure it will be fully compliant with any legislation, regulation, or workers' rights law that would impact them in any new country they begin to operate in. So based on market research, it's very clear that online food delivery services are most popular among younger generations. So to capitalise on this, Snakwheel should be looking for new and innovative ways to market its services, maybe through TikTok, or by partnering with large student discount companies to offer discounts to students. So now that actually brings us to the end of our industry analysis. But what we are going to do now is just take a look at some industry examples. And it's really important that you use industry examples in the case study. And that's because the actual easiest way to gain marks in the exam is to, in fact, quote relevant industry examples and explain what's happening in the industry will affect the issues relevant to your exam. So in Chapter 8, we've given you 25 examples, which you can learn and use to gain marks. Now, we're not going to go through all 25 now. We're going to go through 3 key examples, and you can then spend the rest of your time revising, looking at the others and making sure you fully understand them. So let's get started with the first one now. So the first one that we're going to look at is example number 2 in your pack, which is the poor performance of online food delivery service IPO. And of course, it's in reference to Deliveroo, because Deliveroo actually provided London with the worst IPO ever seen in history, as stock prices plunged on the first day of opening, with shares closing 26% below their listed price, wiping almost £2 billion off Deliveroo's initial market capitalisation, and it lost another 1.9% when markets reopened the next day. Now, the relevance to the pre-scene is that Snakwheel is actually a quoted company that's also profit-making, despite Deliveroo's poor performance. So some unseen issues where you could use this example is IPO, funding, WACC, or market valuation. So we've written a little sample exam paragraph for you to see here. And what's really important is that you remember to link it back to Snakwheel. So remember as well, we're writing it from the perspective of a finance member of staff. Our share price has never dipped below 25 West Area dollars per share and has actually seen a top price of 37 West Area dollars per share. Our beta value of 0.7 also indicates our stocks are of low volatility. This performance compared to our peer in the industry, Deliveroo, who had a disastrous IPO and are yet to make a profit, means we are more likely to be supported by an investment from venture capitalists who have been attracted by our future growth and prospects. So hopefully that you can see how we've used this example to link it back to Snakwheel and the environment in which it's operating in.
Now, while I've got your attention at the end of this video, I'd like to make you aware of the other products that Astranti sell as part of the case study course. So the first of these is a series of study text and tuition videos, and these come in 2 flavors. You have our written study text if you prefer learning through reading, or you can watch our videos if you're more of a visual learner. Now, to start with, we have an exam technique study series, which breaks down how to succeed at various case study levels. We'll be looking at exam technique, writing style, and planning that you need to nail to be successful in your case study exams. And to accompany this, we also have a revision series dedicated to the theory side of things. This is because at the case study level, there is a large amount of theory you need to be capable of using in your case study exam. So what we've done here is we've taken the key areas of the theory from the 3 case study levels and condensed them into a series of chapters to help focus your revision. Moving away from the more generic products and onto the products that are specific to the case study pre-scene, the first of these is the pre-scene analysis video series. First and foremost, this contains a series of videos where we break down the relevant pre-scene at the appropriate level of the qualification, page by page. And throughout this video, we bring out all the key points that could be relevant for you in your exam, looking at various topics and things you might need to consider when revising for the case study. And then to supplement the pre-scene analysis, we also have 2 videos. We have the strategic analysis where we give a broad overview of what kind of strategy the pre-scene company is using and where it might be going in the future. And then we also look at the top 10 issues that we think this pre-scene company might be subject to and something that you may need to take into consideration when revising for the case study. We then provide an industry analysis document and accompanying video. CIMA like to see you demonstrate wider industry knowledge in your exam, and this is what this industry analysis does, as it gives you the wider industry knowledge you need in order to fulfill this requirement. Essentially what it is, it's a large document that we've compiled on all the relevant industry information that we have gathered so that you don't have to do the revision yourself. And then to accompany this, we of course have a video that goes over this document to pick out some of the key points for you if you prefer that. We also produce a number of mock exams for every sitting. We write 5 mock exams for the first exam sitting, and then we add 2 more supplementary mocks for the second exam sitting. We design these mocks around the specific issues relevant to the pre-scene and make them as close to the real thing as you will see in the case study exam as possible. So these are a great way to practice your exam technique and test your knowledge of the pre-scene company under timed conditions. And then to add value to this product, we also offer a marking and feedback service. So we have a range of highly skilled finance professionals working as freelance staff for us, and it is these staff that provide the marking and feedback service. So this is a great service to use in conjunction with our mock exams, as it gives you a great idea of how you're progressing in the areas you need to work on for your case study exam. And then if you're in need of extra exam practice, we also provide a more generic question pack product. So obviously there are only so many questions you could write about on a specific pre-scene. So what this question pack is a series of generic questions on generic scenarios that we come up with at Astranti, whereby we look to test specific topics that come up regularly in the case study exam. So if there is a particular topic you are struggling with and we've only tested once in our mocks, and you'd like more practice on it, then these question packs will be a great product for you to turn to. The penultimate product on this list is a product for those of you who would like to get a full overriding picture in terms of your revision all at once, and these are our masterclasses. So these are our expert tutors who hold 2 masterclasses every exam sitting, and these essentially cover all key aspects that you're going to need to know for your relevant exams. So from particular theories to analyses of the pre-scene, all the way through to tips and tricks you can use in your exam. And finally, such is the confidence we have in the quality of our product that if you do purchase a full course from us and you unfortunately do not pass your exam using our product, then we will offer what we call a pass guarantee. So if you did not pass your exam after purchasing our full course, then you will receive the materials for the next exam sitting free of charge. Okay, thank you very much for listening to that. I hope you find our products useful, and of course I would like to wish you the best of luck in your exam from everyone at Astranti.